Right. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is gonna suck, Simone informs, as she sits cross-legged in front of SJ's canister. The Watath child stares back through the clear barrier separating them from the outside world. It's going to feel as though you are breathing in fire, and you're going to want to fight me to get back in the canister. But it's gotta be done, or you'll slowly drown as you get older. So, no hard feelings on my end for what's coming. Confused, SJ swims in a circle as if they picked up on the topic as the canister, but doesn't quite understand to what extent. The Terran sighs, alone in dreading what's to come. At least I tried to warn you, kid, she reasons out loud, before reaching out and opening the top of the canister. SJ twitches and looks up curiously, their mouths silently warbling. Slowly, Simone sinks her head down, displacing a little of the fluid on the medbay floor in trickling splashes. SJ hesitates for a few moments, but soon comes up to brush their entire chitin body across the Terran's paw like an affectionate marine cat. Simone lets out, feeling a bittersweet dagger plunge into her heart. Hope you learn to trust me again. With that, she takes this prime opportunity to wrap her grip around the Watathling and pull them up. Although clearly wary, SJ allows their parent to draw them forth from the safety of the fluid. They instinctively hold their breath, waiting to be placed either back in or into another fluid space. But that doesn't happen for longer than expected. Instead, their parent holds them facing the floor and do nothing else to remedy the situation. Holding in the fluid becomes harder and harder as all the oxygen reserves are gradually sapped out. Very uncomfortable now, they start to shift and twist, trying to convey that they need to be returned. Let it go, kiddo. I know your body is screaming at you to not do it, but it needs to happen, Simone gently instructs, now preemptively holding the child with both hands. Indeed, the Watathling squirms, desperate to hold the now useless fluid in. But the fluid is safe. The fluid is life. This is all they know. Panic settling in, SJ attempts to wrestle free from Simone's grip, as suffocating pains fire throughout their body. However, despite the sleek, slippery chitin, the Terran's hands remain bound like a straitjacket. Come on, kiddo. Come on. Let it out, Simone encourages softly. She keeps her composure, yet on the inside she's begging to the stars that this runt of Watath's equivalent to lungs have grown improperly. Dave told her that his scans showed they had, but just because the organs are there, doesn't mean the biological and neural connections for them to work is. Simone has heard many a time of children not surfacing the tides for one reason or another. Anything can happen, especially the worst. Self-preservation instincts override everything else in the child's brain, causing them to lash out their many sharp legs to puncture the flesh restraining them. Though there's a few streaks of Terran red dripping to the floor, the hold on SJ remains unwavered. Finally, the Watathling expels from their maw. They had no choice in order to effectively bite the paws restraining them. Fuck, Simone curses, as her hands are bit to shit. You better not be an early venom sac bloomer, I swear to the fucking stars. Hate to be that guy, my dude, but I told you I got gizmos and shit that could hold the little scamp, Dave reminds. For the last time, Tinhead, I have to do it, Simone argues. Admittedly a bit pissed she couldn't simply let the machine bro do it, but it truly has to be her. Thankfully, Simone's now numerous bite wounds don't start to swell from any potentially fatal Watath spice. SJ's insides begin to erupt in expansive burning, as open air involuntarily makes its way in from their thrashing and biting. In a panic from the shocking raw pain, the child attempts to expel the air, but their insides completely betray them, by reflexively inhaling back the fire tenfold. There you go, bud, there you go, Simone encourages, before pressing SJ against her upper chest, risking bites to her face. Come on, hun, again, with me. SJ does manage to snap into Simone's jawbone, but the redhead doesn't so much as flinch. Instead, she holds the kid against her and takes in a slow, measured breath for them to feel. Breathe, hun, breathe, she whispers gently, before continuing her demonstration. SJ hisses for the first time as they press the air out. It hurts. It hurts a lot, but they are so tired. Resisting to inhale is too much of a demanding biological function to suppress. So, having no other option, they retire their aggression for acceptance of what's to come. If this brings death, then so be it. SJ presses themselves against the warm creature holding them, and tries to breathe along in earnest. It's a struggle, like charging up a steep hill. Although their parents' guiding breaths are slow, The burning keeps cutting off their own inhales prematurely. But like any hill, there's a peak, and after that is the way back down. An hour drags on by, to which SJ is finally fully convinced that they won't perish. Though this new usage for their insides is still not comfortable, it gradually becomes bearable, and they find themselves bringing along Simone with little issue. In fact, the little creature finds itself clasping tightly against the mammal, taking in scents as they breathe. All the distinct scents that make up the person holding them. The oils and sweats of her skin. Even the bit of blood she lost. Everything. The child's instincts hardwire the association of being their direct caretaker with this red-furred ape. Despite the difference in species, and that they have evolved in completely different solar systems, the imprinting is a complete success. Congrats, my dude. Little scamp is golden, Dave says, as his scans show no signs of concern within the child. Simone nods, wanting to sigh in relief, but she wills herself to keep her breathing steady. After another healthy chunk of time goes by, she allows herself to breathe at her normal pace, but massages SJ's flexible side kite in place to help with circulation. You did amazing, Simone says to the child. No, her child. She's holding on to what, in every possible regard now, is her kid. Another life that she not only needed to protect, but raise. The redhead oftenly fantasized what this moment would feel like, and although she presumed correctly in a lot of ways, she never accounted for the fear. The life she leads isn't equipped to raise a kid in the danger of being hunted by the universe with all this crazy bullshit thrown in for good measure. Is she even mentally ready for this? If this kid ever sees her in one of her bad episodes. SJ shifts a bit, concerned by the uptick in their parents' insides pounding faster and faster. You are such a fucking boss, dude. Look at you. Like, damn. If I was a tiny organic being with a self-aware think box, I would consider myself lucky as fuck. You're gonna let him play, like, all the violent video games, right, bruh? Then again, she has access to a top-of-the-line medical center. You bet your binary brain I will, Simone softly laughs, trying to relax. The Terran then looks to the side to see literally everyone else on this damn ship, observing through the transparent sections of the medbay wall. She finds a set of glowing reds, and gives them a permitting nod. Chuck slowly walks in, maintaining a safe distance. Oh, everything seems okay? No noticeable issues? She asked to both Simone and Dave. They made a bloody mess of my clothes and the floor, but other than that, yeah. SJ's trooping through it. Want to say hi? Simone responds, with an inviting tilt of the head. Is that really all right? The Callie asks, both in concern for her well-being, and as well as the child's. Don't worry, I got him, and this is actually the best period to approach. Let SJ take in your scent and get familiar. Hell, everyone should come by. One at a time, though. Definitely don't need a crowd around him, Simone responds confidently. Ow, okay, Chuck replies, still a bit uneasy due to the concerning amount of Terran red fluids everywhere. She steps up, keeping her eyes fixated on the small potato-sized wheezing creature resting against Simone's chest. Hey, kiddo. Look who's here. It's Chuck. You know Chuck, the redhead informs, as she carefully pats SJ's back chitin scales. Of course, the child says nothing, but her eyes do lock onto Chuck's with instant recognition. Hello, SJ. I'm very glad to see you have done so well, Chuck greets, not quite knowing what to say. The child releases a low pant of a hiss, causing the Callie to twitch back a bit. Low hisses are good, don't worry, Simone assures in a chuckle. It's the intense higher-pitched ones you should watch out for. Chuck nods, though her racing hearts make it hard to get closer again. Oh, that is certainly good to know. Since it looks like there needs to be some cleanup soon, I will step out and send someone in one at a time. Give everyone a chance to say hi, Chuck says with a bounce. Sure thing, but there's something I want to talk to you about real quick, the redhead responds, her face a bit flushed. Of course, what is it? Chuck agrees. You've already done so much to help with SJ. It's frankly incredible. You're incredible. But I don't want to assume anything. We're planning on getting hitched, and you said you consider SJ family. I guess I'd just like to know where you're at. Like as in, you know. I'm going to raise SJ to refer to me as Mum, you know. So I'm just wondering what you would like to be referred to for him, the Terran explains bashfully. The Callie's eyes flash at what Simone is asking for. Oh, that is a fair question. If you think it would be appropriate, they can call me China. It's my people's title for a caregiver. Some even use it to refer to, parent, Chuck answers tentatively. The Terran smiles, partially exposing her teeth as many predatory animals do. You really want to be a co-parent? You don't have to feel obligated on my account, if you're not, Simone says, before the Callie struts right back up to her, placing a hand on her back. It's certainly something to get used to, but I meant what I said. SJ is family, and family means the universe to me. Being a parent wasn't part of my goals in life, let alone being the parent of a Watath, but I'm not against it, especially if my partner is you. Though, of course, I will lack in a lot of the things SJ will need. I will provide everything within my power to ensure they are raised well. All right, China, Simone says with a wink. You know, it's a Terran tale as old as time. Get picked up at a bar 1 minute, the next you have a kiddo in your arms. Bit of a roundabout way, but here we are, she muses. Indeed, we are, Chuck giggles, before affectionately pressing her head against the Terran's. Simone leans against Chuck while her eyes look to the others waiting their turn to enter and greet the child. I think we qualify as the weirdest fucking family in the entire galaxy. A broom closet, Simone states, as she and Choknog stand before the walk-in hallway utility closet. Haha, yes, I know it may not be an actual bedroom, but I'm afraid there's nowhere else the youngster can go. We can move the equipment to the spa storage and then procure proper furnishings suitable for a freshly out-of-water Watathling, the captain explains. Simone eyes the kid resting on her shoulder like some sort of pirate's pet. I suppose that'll be fine. They're going to bunk with us for a bit, so it's not like there's a rush, Simone reasons, before scratching between SJ's backplates, causing them to lowly hiss in satisfaction. But these guys have a killer growth spurt after entering the world of us air breathers, so our time frame does have a limit. Of course, but in the meantime, if you two ever require a night to yourselves, Grandpa Choknok will always report for sitting duty. Ha ha! The old man offers. Genuinely surprised, Simone looks at him, touched. Wait, really? Grandpa? She asks. That is the Terran word for it, correct? Yeah, but are you sure? Well, who else is going to teach the rascal about the intricacies of command and vessel upkeep? With my expertise, they will be a master at battle proud before they can speak. Ha ha ha! The captain cheers, before closing the door and leading the Terran back down the hallway. But fear not. I may not have raised spawn of my own, but there have been many a time in my long service when I watched over the iamblt aboard. Our fine princess here being a prime example. Although astute in her schooling, she was a little mischievous one, she was. Ha ha ha! Smiling, Simone rolls her eyes. Oh, I believe it, she sniggers. What was the worst thing she got away with? The captain puts a grasper under his chin in thought. There was this one time she nearly got herself incinerated by climbing up into one of the exterior drive engine exhaust ports. Thank the stars I noticed the potential blockage. Ha! Choknok says. Simone draws out a whistle that breaks into a laugh. Damn! What the hell was she even doing there? She questions. I would leave little treats in hidden areas around the ship for her and her siblings to hunt down, to have them be preoccupied with something engaging while on longer trips, you see. I even told them there was a grand treasure stowed away somewhere. And she got it in her mind that the freaking motherlode was in the fucking exhaust? Indeed, but of course I had to reel back a bit of my antics after that. At least officially. The Terran nods, still utterly amused by the imagery, though her smile softens into something warmer. Chuck is incredibly lucky to have a parental figure like you, she tells the captain, who is taken a bit by surprise. Parent? Why, I'm just a loyal servant of her and the royal family, he deflects, as his scales shift to an orange. Simone plants a gentle hand on his shoulder. Nah, you really are more than that, seriously. And as far as I'm concerned, you're perfect grandpa material, she reassures, giving him a careful yet playful jostle. That truly means a lot, Miss Thatch. Thank you, Choknok replies, doing his best to keep composure. The two make it to the end of the hall, to which Simone leans back on the railing to face the Trumbull. So, there's one more thing. We haven't told anyone yet. Been a bit crazy with what's been going on, but you really ought to know, she addresses bashfully. Choknok looks to her, curious as to what it could be. It has, hasn't it? What should I know? Do you have lingering health complications? He asked. You could say that, but not what I'm getting at. I may have proposed to Chuck, and, she said yes, Simone reveals. It's the captain's turn to lean on the railing, though he does it to catch himself from toppling over from shock.
As in marriage?
He spurts out in disbelief. Yep, the redhead confirms. The whole dealio.
By the stars around us,
Chocolate mumbles, his scale shifting from one colour to the next as his feelings on the matter settle.
Ha ha! That certainly was not what I was expecting.
Do you think it's a good idea?
Certainly not, but I cannot approve of it more. Ha ha ha! Oh, the Cali Council will have a field day with this one. Ha ha ha!
Relaxing a bit, Simone begins scratching at SJ again. Good. I thought as much, she chuckles.
Well, it's not about what I think now, is it? I will admit, I was encouraging the princess to snag you when she first confided in me,
Chalknock says, as he stares down into the cargo bay. You know, convincing a Cali to pursue a Terran isn't something most people would recommend, Simone remarks.
And yet look where you two are, the captain counters rather softly. I may not be the wisest of the older generations, but I've lived long enough to know this. Regardless of the time you have, is always too short to not take the worthwhile risks. Life is not an adventure, it is the adventure. For it's the only one we have. Chocolate Mortaz's life has already been thrown into complete disarray in a cold, dark, hostile universe. Then she found you, a light brighter and warmer than any star. I'd be an incredible fool to not see that.
Simone releases a huff of air through her nose. Funny. That's exactly how I see her. I was only just scraping myself out of a dark place before I met her. Who knows where I'd be right now if I hadn't been there in that bar that day. But like you said, here we are. We don't know how we're going to go about the ceremony stuff yet, but I'd really like you to be a part of it, Simone says.
In what manner?
Well, in the colonies, Terran parents have one role or another in marriages, traditions and all that, though I doubt our thing is going to look traditional in any sort of way. I still like to offer that sort of role to you, Simone puts out, shifting from one foot to the other nervously. Chocolate glances up to her, seeing her face reddened and eyes darting in every which way.
It would be one of the greatest honours of my life, Simone.
This reminds me of our radio shows, Meek chitters loud, as the visual moving drawing show concludes. SJ, sitting on her head like a brain leech, still stares at the place where the projection faded away. The characters certainly acted boisterous. Is that truthful to how Terrans act? Nodrin asks, turning around to Simone and Chak sitting on the back of the bed. Not really. It's a bit exaggerated to amp things up, the redhead answers with a tired shrug. I really like the last one. The young shaman gal on the flying sweeping tool was such a relatable story, Miki says as she sits up as well. That one is my favourite, Chuck chirps in agreement. I've seen it at least 10 times. One of the best coming-of-age stories, Simone inputs before drawing in a deep yawn. But I think we gotta call it here. I need to hit the hay. The Terran reaches her arm out to Mickey's head, allowing SJ to hop over and scamper up the extended appendage. Alright. Come on, love, we can still practice our galactic stand-up before going to sleep, Mickey says, as she rolls over on top of her bondmate. Nodrin chitters and snatches Mickey to continue rolling over the side of the bed. The two scuffle out of the line of sight even as they exit through the door. Damn doofuses, Simone chuckles as she leans back and lays down. SJ wastes no time moving to bundle into a ball on her chest. Chuck curls up and takes Simone's paw in her lowers. SJ really likes you, I'm glad, she says softly, loving seeing the two resting together. Simone tilts her head, looking back. Of course, I'm pretty awesome, Simone replies with a tired wink. You very much are. I hope you sleep well. Doubt it. Dreams are getting really weird. I keep seeing that bat-looking species. Every time. I think I want to try the worm brain thing again tomorrow. That okay? The redhead's tone shifts to a more serious one. If that's what you need, but what if it makes your dreams worse? Chuck points out, worried. Then that's what happens. I'd rather deal with that than not know the crap in my head, Simone assures. Will you be there? I will. Thank you, hon. Absolutely. You know... What? What? I'm happy. Really. Simone's voice drifts into air. Chuck doesn't respond. She just watches in silence as her Terran falls into unconsciousness with the Watathling following suit. She wants to scoot closer, but doesn't want to risk disturbing SJ. It's been a rough time for the child, with a whole new world to be fully exposed to. In addition, she does retain a background fear of doing the wrong thing that could spook them. The last thing anyone needs is an accidental bite, venom or no. Eventually, she closes her eyes as well, preparing herself to drift. But before she does, she suddenly feels a pressure press up against her chest. Thinking it was part of a Simone, Chuck takes a peek, yet is utterly shocked to see a relocated SJ curled up against her. She doesn't share the exact same strong parental pact bond feelings that Simone seems to feel, but this is a powerful feeling regardless. A wonderful one, if not a bit terrifying. Alrighty, my buddy, we're all set for round 2. Ding ding, Dave says, as the Terran is strapped down, sparing the hand with the worm. Simone nods before giving Chuck a smile. Everything's going to be okay, she assures the Callie. I dearly hope so, Chuck chubs, as she brushes Simone's head fur. The redhead sighs in preparation, and then plants her hand at the back of her neck. She then allows her final free appendage to be strapped, as she feels the now familiar pinch and feeling of another presence entering her mind space. We will attempt to avoid damaging stress, but we are curious about a particular anomaly we wish to investigate. Go for it, Simone responds. Very well. Much like the first time, Simone's view of the world spins and melts into something completely different. The scenes between Simone and the host of a time-long gong are impossible to notice. Shara, get up! Bleeding, pain, anger. A talon leg smacked into Shara's side, throwing her at least a dozen feet into a ship's wall. A new wound rips open in her cranium. Not that it adds too much more pain. Get up! Old assistant's commanding voice demands. Curse you, Mara! Shara groans, as she pushes herself up to see her own reflection in the golden-plated wall. Purple fur soaked with black blood. One of her red and golden eyes is swollen shut, her fangs exposed in rage. Ripping the barbed proving dagger from her guts, she grips it tightly, resolved in slaying her opponent with it. Her sister will see she is more worthy. She will see, once her head is severed. Mother and her fathers will see she, Shara, is not weak.